This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 29th day of September in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition members of parliament, together with the International Decade of People of African Descent Assembly, Guyana, told the Washington Conference in Guyana that Afro-Indo and Amerindian Guyanese are constantly discriminated against by the government, and in many cases due to their association with the opposition. In her presentation, Opposition Member of Parliament Dawn Hastings-Williams said Indigenous people of Guyana continue to be abused, misused, sidelined, and discriminated against by the ruling administration.
The Indigenous people are the first people. But let me tell you, even though they're the first people, they are not being treated as the first people. They're being treated like the minority. Today, the resources that comes from the oil and gas and other natural resources, there is a big gap of social and economic development between the coastland and the hinterland. And the indigenous peoples, the majority of the indigenous peoples live in the hinterland. And so you will know what is happening at the moment. It is not being trickled down to them, even though they are seen as the guardians of the forests.
Citing a recent case involving the former minister Nigel Daramalal, he was forced to resign amid allegations of sexual assault and rape of a minor. MP Hastings-Williams said notwithstanding the serious allegations leveled against the former minister, the case never made its way to the court. Meanwhile, opposition MP Ganesh Mahipal reported that an increasing number of Indo-Guyanese are being sidelined by the PPP due to their perceived association with the opposition.
And I want everyone here to know that there are many Indo-Guyanese who have an interest in the People's National Congress reform. But because the People's Progressive Party seems to believe that East Indian Guyanese belong to them, and they operate in a manner where they discriminate once you are not with them, we also feel the brunt of their disrespect and their behavior towards people who don't support them.
Mr. Mahipal said the discriminatory actions of the government were in conflict with the Constitution. Weighing in on the issue, the Chief Executive Officer of the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly, Guyana, Olive Sampson, said in the case of Afro-Guyanese, the government continues to live in denial with regard to the state of Afro-Guyanese in the country.
That denial has resulted in Government of Guyana's suspension of government funding to IPADG, among other similar acts, in contravention of its commitment as signatory to the resolution which declared the Decade for People of African Descent.
IPADG has been without government subvention since last September. Ms. Sampson explained that any attempt by Afro-Guyanese to assert the state of Afro-Guyanese is greeted with hostility and repression by the government. Citing another example, she pointed to the withdrawal of permission for African Guyanese to assemble at a state-owned facility, the Guyana Industrial Training Center, in February to discuss land rights issues affecting the people of African descent. She said the compounded situation, the government has embarked on what she sees as an international campaign to misrepresent its treatment of Afro-Guyanese. She said IPADG will continue to advocate for the rights of Afro-Guyanese to be upheld and will continue to brief regional and international bodies about the issues. More news coming up in a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say, but now that it's here, it will change life forever, and it is here to stay. The future is now, transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women, and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look, the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Having your own car means peace of mind.
Having your own car means comfort and convenience.
Having your own car means freedom to get there on your own time.
It's Deal on Wheels at Republic Bank. It's time to get that new vehicle or upgrade to a better one with Republic. Super low rates and low down payment. Up to 8 years to repay and great prizes. Come in to Republic Bank today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Well, the government is pushing back against the just concluded Washington Conference on Guyana, which was attended by the opposition leader and several other members of the opposition APNU-AFC. In a statement, the Prime Minister Mark Phillips lashed out at the opposition, accusing opposition members of being unpatriotic for agreeing to a petition that details issues related to discrimination, bad governance, and corruption in Guyana. Prime Minister Phillips said the government views the petition as regressive, mischievous, and unpatriotic, adding that it appears to be a thinly veiled attempt to undermine the work that successive Pacific administrations have undertaken and which President Irfan Ali has been advancing since taking office. Prime Minister Phillips said that while the government recognizes the importance of addressing the concerns and grievances of any group of citizens, it does not take kindly to attempts by the opposition to reverse the gains made by the Pacific administration over the last few years. He said the approach does a disservice to democratic principles that Guyana upholds and the tireless efforts of the government to build a united Guyana. The Prime Minister has brushed aside comments that the government is discriminating against Afro-Guyanese. He said the Ghanaian government is proud of its wide-ranging support among the African Guyanese community, adding that that support led to the PP Civic's victory at the last elections. He said the PP Civic has been managing the affairs of the country inclusively for the benefit of all Guyanese, irrespective of race, political affiliation, or economic status. The opposition has rejected that notion, and several of its speakers at the Washington Conference spoke with U.S. officials about the many issues facing the country. The ExxonMobil company has exited the Kaieteur block offshore Guyana and intends to focus on its oil production in the Stabroek block. In a statement, the company said Ratio Guyana Limited is anticipated to assume the role as operator in the block that spans 3.3 million acres. Exxon said its exploration efforts and discovery of oil in the Kaieteur block have highlighted Guyana's offshore potential. It clarified, however, that its withdrawal is not an indication that it does not intend to explore other developments. In fact, the oil giant said it intends to accelerate developments in the Stabroek block. According to Exxon, its withdrawal from the Kaieteur block has no impact on its commitment to seeking further exploration and development opportunities and to generating additional value for the government and people of Guyana, which includes their accelerated development and production in the Stabroek block. Exxon had discovered oil in the Kaieteur block. However, it was deemed not to be of commercial value. The discovery turned out to be of no commercial value, unlike the discoveries in the nearby Stabroek block. The region's 7 indigenous community of Jawala has been thrown into mourning with the deaths of 3 women who were crushed during a violent storm in the area yesterday. According to reports coming out of the region, a number of trees were uprooted during the storm, and the women were crushed by one of those trees that fell onto them. A team from the Civil Defense Commission is expected to head into the area with support from other government agencies. The dead women have been identified as Godfrida Frederick, Celis Albert, and Selena Hope. A number of other persons from the community, including children, were all injured during the storm, and they were rushed to a hospital in a nearby community for medical attention. The minister responsible for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, has announced that the government has made its 5th withdrawal for this year from the Natural Resource Fund in accordance with the Natural Resource Fund Act of 2021. In the statement, the minister indicated that pursuant to Section 16 of the NRF Act, a further $50 million was withdrawn from the NRF in September, equivalent to 10.4 billion Guyana dollars. Earlier in August and September, the government withdrew more than $200 million from the fund, amounting to $41.6 billion. The finance minister said parliamentary approval was granted for just over $1 billion to be transferred from the fund to the consolidated fund during this year. According to him, the government will continue to work aggressively through what he calls sound and transformative investments of oil resources from the Natural Resource Fund by utilizing the resources in a clear and transparent manner.
Pakaraima Golden Suites, Amazonas Hotel, and Nalep Mining Company, in association with the 5-2 Movement, presents Pepe Mereno.
Eu conheci uma americana que queria só beber.
Live in concert at the National Park, September 30th. Also live performances by Castro Brothers, DJ Anand, DJ Tranquilo, and your boy DJ Ace Mas Fuego. Sponsored by Fireside Suites, Fireside Grill and Chill, Extra Ginger Ale, 94.1 Boom FM, and the 5-2 Bar and Grill. Pepe Mendreno at the National Park, September 30th.
Guyana's oil industry has been developing at an unprecedented pace, and monitoring its progress and operations are crucial to the country's development. On board each floating production, storage, and offloading vessel are personnel from the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA), the Guyana Revenue Authority, and the Bureau of Standards to provide regulatory oversight of production. While onshore, the EPA is also able to conduct real-time monitoring that oversees production numbers, gas levels, and power generation with the support of Maxar technologies and services. These are regulatory measures in place to ensure the safe production of oil.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Life can be unpredictable, and when urgent medical needs arise, you need a place that's efficient, quick, and reliable. Eureka, the trusted household name in healthcare, has extended its services to include an urgent care and pharmacy to better serve you. At Eureka Urgent Care, we understand that time is of the essence, so you can say goodbye to long wait times and stressful emergency rooms. Our team of dedicated professionals is ready to provide quality and patient-centered care Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Walk-in service or appointments are available. With emphasis on safety and patient satisfaction, our services cater to both our expatriates and local community. Eureka Urgent Care and Pharmacy for expert urgent care and medicine when it matters most. Visit us at 264 Thomas Street, North Cummingsburg, Georgetown.
Having your own car means peace of mind.
Having your own car means comfort and convenience.
Having your own car means freedom to get there on your own time.
It's Deal on Wheels at Republic Bank. It's time to get that new vehicle or upgrade to a better one with Republic. Super low rates and low down payment. Up to 8 years to repay and great prizes. Come in to Republic Bank today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
The Guyana Power and Light Company is asking customers to conserve on electricity usage as the company has recorded its highest level of electricity generation and demand in the Demerara and Berbice interconnected system. The company today said it recently recorded a peak demand of 182 megawatts, when the usual high demand is around 154 megawatts. Over the last few days, several parts of Georgetown, Berbice, and Bartica have been dogged by multiple power outages. According to GPL, due to the rise in temperatures, there has been a noticeable use of air conditioning units and fans. The company said in some instances those AC units and fans are being left on in homes and at businesses that are unoccupied, resulting in unnecessary energy wastage. GPL was quick to point out that the issue is not just common to Guyana, and several other neighboring countries are facing similar challenges. In an effort to cushion the power supply issues, the power company is urging factories, manufacturers, and other large customers to manage their production schedules efficiently to conserve on electricity. The company is also urging citizens to unplug appliances when not in use LED lights, as well as to schedule laundry and ironing. The GPL said it will continue to monitor the situation closely. Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson has refused to accept an apology issued to him by the Guyana Police Force after the force admitted that his name had been mistakenly left on a travel blacklist at the Cheddi-Jagan International Airport. The opposition MP and former government minister was on his way to Washington on Tuesday night for a Wednesday conference with U.S. officials when he was told by immigration officers at the airport that he could not leave the country since his name was flagged in their system. The Guyana Police Force, which overlooks the Immigration Department, later issued an apology, while indicating that Mr. Patterson's name was placed on a watch list in July, as he was under investigation for indecent exposure, and his name was mistakenly left on the list. The police force said his name has since been removed from the list, and he was able to travel the day after. But the opposition legislator has since told his attorneys to file court action against the government and the police force over the breach of his right to free movement. In an interview, Mr. Patterson said the apology issued by the Guyana Police Force amounts to nonsense.
What definitely is political. I mean, I found this statement by the Commissioner of Police saying that I was mistakenly left as total nonsense, and I think it's an insult to Guyanese, an insult to the rule of law.
In a case filed by Policewoman Superintendent Marceline Washington last year after she was prevented from leaving the country owing to a criminal matter in the court, High Court Judge Navendra Singh ruled that the Guyana Police Force has no authority to block anyone from leaving the country. In that case, the judge also said the police force had misdirected itself by blocking the officer from leaving the country, adding that the force cannot restrict the movement of any person around or out of Guyana, unless such a restriction is provided for in the laws of Guyana or is pursuant to an order of the court. In Mr. Patterson's case, there was no court order blocking his departure.
For the Commissioner of Police to offer an excuse, that is a mistake and he should have taken it off. It's just, once again, I don't think he understands the role of the police commissioner or the laws of the Constitution, which he's sworn to uphold. I mean, if he can make that as an excuse that you have mistakenly not removed something that is illegal, and that is the excuse for the police force, I mean, it's laughable.
The government has been pilloried by the opposition over the blacklisting of the opposition MP. In a statement, opposition member of parliament and former magistrate Gita Chandan Edmond said the situation has revealed that the Guyana government has affirmed the view that political persecution and the cracking down on their political opponents is alive and real in a dangerous way.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guy Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water, now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. Mexico's president on Friday slammed U.S. aid for Ukraine and economic sanctions on Venezuela, Cuba, and other nations as the first of 2 high-level U.S.-Mexico meetings got underway in Washington. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador issued a broad criticism of U.S. foreign policy, saying U.S. economic sanctions were forcing people to migrate from Cuba, Venezuela, and other countries. The harsh comments came as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and other U.S. officials met their Mexican counterparts at the State Department. None of the officials, including Mexican Foreign Secretary and Secretary of Economy, addressed or were asked about Lopez Obrador's comments. Instead, they concentrated on expanded trade and economic ties, hailing new cooperation on those fronts. 3 months after gunmen murdered his brother Kevon Faces Andrews, Keon Andrews suffered a similar fate on Thursday when a gunman brazenly shot him in the street, Trinidad Guardian said in a report. According to the report, Andrews, 30, of Pleasantville, was walking along Chacona Avenue around 9 a.m. with Kerry Richards when the incident occurred. The men worked at the San Fernando City Corporation and were standing in front of the district office when a gunman approached and shot them several times. Andrews, a sanitation worker, died on the scene, while someone took Richards to the San Fernando General Hospital, where he remains warded in a critical condition. It was a horrific scene for Pleasantville residents and passers-by who saw Andrew's body lying on the road. Relatives gathered at the scene, getting a full view as Southern Division crime scene investigators combed the area and recovered 9 bullet casings. The grief was all too familiar for Andrew's mother, Deborah Reed, who was already struggling to come to terms with the killing of her other son, Kevon. And finally tonight, international news. Las Vegas police have reportedly arrested a man in connection with the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur nearly 3 decades ago, according to the BBC. The hip-hop legend was shot 4 times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in 1996. The identity of his killer is still a mystery. On Friday, Las Vegas police arrested a man over his death, according to sources speaking to AP News Agency. A police press conference is expected soon. He died aged 25 on the 13th of September 1996, a week after he was shot 4 times in his car while waiting at a red light. In a separate report, ABC News cited a senior law official confirming a suspect had been arrested. The development comes after Las Vegas police in July searched an alleged gang member's home for evidence over Shakur's death. The death of the rapper, one of the most acclaimed in hip-hop, has inspired several documentaries. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.